Call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are back to recording and going remote until January 31st per orders of the Governor of New York. I will accept the motion for the acceptance of the minutes of the August 31st, 2021 meeting.
So moved.
Seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Motion for the acceptance of the minutes of the September 8th, 2021 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Public forum. For any member of the audience, we do have a, that we're passing out, is a list of the question and answer session in regards to all COVID protocols and everything the school district is doing. And more than welcome to take a copy of it. We'll provide it to any member of the audience. Christine Carpala, to address the subject of school safety. Come on up.
Yes.
Would you like a copy of that? No, all right, we have to stand by for a minute, and I'm being told that we are not on the air.
We're on standby for a minute. We're not on the air. Post the meeting up and the recording up as soon as the meeting's concluded. And if you
So,
can,
so for the public, we are recording. Unfortunately, we are having some technical difficulties as to offer it in real time. However, this meeting will be posted up as at the later.
are we live?
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm being told that we are live. Okay. If we are not, we apologize, and we will definitely post the meeting. Ms. Carpala, you can return to the podium for the 3-minute public forum on school safety.
Okay, so my first concern was the air filtration system, which I see on this paper says it increases from 10 to 20% when feasible. Who determines when it's feasible? Because standing here tonight, there's no air in here. Not even in here, there's no airflow. 3 gym classes in the gym at one time. How is this safe? Many sinks are not working properly in the elementary school. This is where children should be washing their hands more. Bathrooms are being locked. Why would the high school and middle school merge during COVID? Grades 7 through 12 are using one entrance to get into the school. A disaster in the morning. What is the cleaning process between lunch periods? Or is there none? Remote hybrid learning would free up some space in the schools. Elementary drop-off pickup is a disaster. Kids removing their mask in class, saying that the classes are too hot. There's no AC, there's no air in the classroom. We were told at the last meeting there'll be tables outside for lunch. There are only 2 tables outside. School supplies for 7 through 12, which is answered on this piece of paper, saying that they're driven by subjects and teachers, but we get a school supply list sent home every school year, so why aren't we using that list to provide school supplies? There's no room in the classrooms for 3 feet apart. In here, in this question and answer, I see that it is highly recommended that students are 3 feet apart. Lunch periods are overcrowded. Why aren't we being notified of all positive cases in a timely manner? Why is there no mass breaks for high school and middle school students? Why isn't lunch being eaten in classrooms whenever possible? Open house is virtual, but school is in person. Why is this? Temperatures are taken to get into the business office on Maple Avenue, but students don't need their temperatures taken. Why is this? Three students to a seat on a bus. How is this safe? I know a student that was exposed on the 17th, wasn't notified until the 20th. That's 3 days. What about all the people that student was in contact with for those 3 days when she didn't know she was exposed? But guess what the best part of the story is? The student wasn't even in school on the 17th. So how are we contact tracing? How is contact tracing happening? What about staggered arrivals and dismissals for all 3 schools? That's it.
Do you have a copy that you can leave with the superintendent, all the questions they have?
I mean, it's not me.
That's all right, doesn't have to be me. Just so she made sure she
Okay.
wrote everything down for you. She'll definitely get you a response. As to the issue of COVID in our schools, I cannot, nobody on this board can say, no administrator can tell a parent how to feel about their child attending schools or the safety precautions that they feel that they should have, that they take, because every parent is going to be very, very protective and should of their child and be worried about them and worried about whether or not they're safe or they're coming home safely. And all I can tell you is that the district, the administration is following to the T, the recommendations of the CDC, the Department of Health. They're in constant contact with the area superintendents and with the Ulster County District Superintendent as well. This situation is a fluid situation. These things are rapidly changing daily, and the school and the administration is doing the best that they can to keep up with this. And to those parents, that may not seem enough, and I understand that, and I empathize with you, and so does this board. We will continue to provide the safest care that we can for your child and for every staff member of this district. It is, unfortunately, we had hoped that this year COVID would be a thing of the past. I think we all prayed for that. Unfortunately, the pandemic is still going, and it will be going, unfortunately, for some time. But while it is going, I can assure you that the superintendent remains available and her administrative staff remains available to any parent that has a concern. Please make an appointment, come talk to the superintendent, come talk to the principal, feel free to come in. We want you to feel safe in this district, and we want you to feel that your child is safe. Again, we cannot tell you how, we're not going to tell you how you feel about the safety of your child, but we're going to try to be there for you and try to do the best that we can on a daily basis. With that in mind, we'll continue. And we will call a presentation. We'll call up Jessica Matarazza for social emotional wellness. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. We wanted to take the time tonight to bring to you the work, the very hard work that the social emotional wellness team did over the course of the last year. So you're going to have the opportunity tonight to review the presentation that we have for you, and I've included the links and can navigate for you the various resources that have been made available to our staff, to our students, and to our family and community. Thanks, Vince. So what we identified, something that we need to do as a district, is to really have people, both staff, students, everyone involved, all our stakeholders, be the best version of themselves. So working together, and you can see in your presentations the triangle there, really that Maslow hierarchy of needs. So meeting that, the need of, do I have shelter, food, water, those immediate needs, and then building to the safety, the sense of belonging, working all the way up to the top. So our goal as our social emotional wellness team is to bring that to the Ellenville Central School District through the work that we do. So what the district did, and we provided the staff with this presentation last September, in the middle of the COVID pandemic, is we comprised a team of the school building and district leaders, certified school counselors, school nurses, and other members of our people personnel service to really bring and inform the development of our counseling program plan and the work that we do. So within the presentation, you can see a list of our current social emotional wellness core team members. I did go ahead and update that to include the new staff members that have joined our district. We're very grateful for them. So from myself, the Director of Special Education is the team leader. Dr. Fogarty also joins me as our special education consultant. And then the list of names there that you see range from everything that I just spoke about. So we have our school counselors on that list, our newly appointed school social workers, our nursing staff from both buildings, our attendance officer, Ray Younger, our behavior analyst, Mike Camargo, district psychologists, very comprehensive team that come together every month, one time a month, and have since September 2020. So resources that were established to bring to the district in September, and they have continued to use these resources. We have the Teacher SEL Lesson Database. Vince, if you could go ahead and click that link. So staff have access to a collection of SEL mini lessons. This is able to be filtered by description, grade, category, where the source is coming from. The collection provides a title, a description, a summary of what the resource will bring. So this current year, we've developed at the K-6 level, social workers and school counselors pushing in at least one time a week, if not multiple times a week, to provide SEL push-in lessons. They might grab from this database, or they might grab from the various resources that are really at their fingertips as the experts. So it's a comprehensive collection of resources that are available. Since you want to go back to the presentation for me, please. Thank you. Number 2 on that list, if you click that link, Vince, they established a checklist of student observation notes, just things that teachers can look for. And this is a general checklist. We spoke, and when we rolled it out to staff, spoke about how different teachers, depending on the students, the population of students that they're working with, if it's an elementary student, they might use the visual representation that you see, where, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 5? Whereas if it was an older secondary student, they might ask some deeper questions just as students are coming into class. And the feedback from this is the teachers did find it very helpful just to connect with their students on a daily basis. A simple, how are you feeling today? How was your weekend? And then when a student might say, I'm feeling tired. Well, why, just to prompt and encourage those conversations. We even saw some of the teachers displaying that 1 to 5 scale in both buildings up in their classroom. So sometimes it just took the student to see and point, and the teacher took that as a hint to say, you're not having the best day, we'll check in later, but that might be why you're not participating today, and know that they need to address it with the student. Nope, not, thank you. So we're also going to get to, at the next slide, urgent student support, but done by building for Google form. But before we go there, let's go to number 4. So on the district website is a collection of staff SEL resources. So you can see here from Ulster County Mental Health, Family of Woodstock are highlighted. There are also some self-care resources and some community resources. And then the other link is available and online for our students in our community to provide various support. So this is also going to be in another spot that I will show you, but it has the contact information, it has the phone number, address, what that place will do, what they offer. So a really great resource page there. And all of those where you see it's blue and underlined, they're all live links. So using it from the website, you can link to the website if available. Okay, we can go to the next slide, Vince. Thank you. So this is the method to request support for students. So if there's an urgent request, if we go ahead and click the elementary student follow-up form, you can see that you put in the student's name, the grade and teacher if known, and then briefly describe the concern. This immediately goes to a member of our student support staff in that building. So we have this one for the elementary, and if we go back to the presentation, the junior, senior high school one is a little bit more specific. And scroll down, so you see student's grade, who the referring teacher or staff member would be, describing the problem, if there's been contact with the parent or guardian is noted. If yes, provide a summary. So a little bit deeper, the conversations that our student support staff are having at the secondary level can be, a little bit deeper so that we can fill out that appropriate form and get it to the right people. So that has been in play since last year and will continue. It's been modified to include the merge of the buildings and the staff being notified that are now in those buildings, including the new staff. So discussions are continuing with the team and district level administration as well as the county regarding the various opportunities that we want to bring to our staff for professional development. So we haven't had our first meeting yet. It's coming up for September. And these were some of the brainstorm PD opportunities that were thought of by the team that they would like to see them have and also rolling out to our entire district. Coping skills, build and support resilience through adversity, mental health and wellness, identifying signs of student risk, burnout and resilience, and the impact of trauma on human behavior. So it's not the only items, but there were just a few of the items that we thought we could learn a little bit more about and how we can bring it to our district and to our teaching. So resources for staff and students. So some of these are currently in progress, some are in the development stages. So we have the first one, which is, I think, the pride and joy of the team, is our district counseling website. So Vince, yep, thank you. So this is accessible through our district webpage. If you go to our homepage, you can see in the white box, there's a little heart there, and that's the live link. So it will take you right to the counseling page. So if we go to that page and we scroll down, so you can see the counseling staff and it's sorted by building. So you see all of their pictures, their phone number, their email, what they do in those buildings. We still need a picture for Mrs. Dwyer. So junior, senior high school, you have the support staff there in that building, same thing. The building, their role in that building, their contact information with extension and email. So it really puts a face to the name, so that you know who you're calling, who you're speaking to, and how to contact that person in the event they're not there. You have an email and a phone option. So continuing our work this year, we have virtual appointment requests that we're generating through a Google form so that people can log in or through our website and be able to request an appointment with a specific staff member. And also resources and referrals to mental health and behavior support services are also something that we're continuing to talk about, which kind of connects back to the professional development and the resources that we hope to bring to the district through the county and through the work that we do every day. So improving our process and our systems, again, this is ongoing work. So this was really the second part of the team and our goal. The first part we did accomplish last year through the creation of the various forms. The website was a huge addition to our district webpage, and I'm going to go back to that in a minute. So this is part of the work that we plan to do this year, identifying our SEL needs and incorporating strategies to meet those needs. We've started to touch on that a little bit as I've developed the schedules for all of our counselors and social workers down at the elementary level with those push-in lessons. So incorporating those techniques, those strategies, those conversations into the classroom on a weekly basis, and then having the students not only have that connection with the counselor, but knowing that teacher is a go-to person too, and they have the strategies in their toolbox as well. We also have the SEL mental health and well-being supports offered at all levels. And again, I think we really check that box in a big way by bringing up the social workers, the behavior analysts here to the district. So a lot of that work we are going to be able to do in-house now with evidence-based practices and strategies with the staff that we currently have. We can build those supports. And then our school climate survey, which is ongoing. Vince, can you just skip back to the website for a minute? Because we only really touched on one part of that. So at the top, you see the various tabs on the website. Sure. Good. So you see that embedded within that website, if you click meeting request, you have a form there to do a virtual meeting request for the junior senior high school or a virtual meeting request for the elementary. So I misspoke. If you click on the junior senior high school events, I forgot that we had accomplished this already. So if you scroll down, this is the virtual meeting request form. So you put in your role. Are you a teacher? Are you a parent? Or are you a student? And then you request the staff member that you're asking to meet with. So these are all of the support staff members that are at the junior senior high school. And we have the same virtual request form at the elementary level, which includes all of the student support staff, including the new social workers and counselors and psychologists that are down there. So same thing. And what happens with forms like this is as soon as you submit, it goes into the responses, and all of the people you see listed there have access to that response sheet. So they're able to see someone has requested a meeting with me, and that cues them to reach out. And then if we go back to, thank you, Vince, go back to the counseling page. So the next tab over next to meeting request is teacher resources. So this was the page that we looked at initially that had the live links on one of the first slides. What we've done is we've embedded that information into our counseling page. So all of that information is more easily accessible in one spot. So these are all of the various teacher resources, the self-care, some Headspace mind meditation from YouTube, self-care strategies for teachers, community resources. So that's embedded there. And then, Vince, if you go over to family resources, you'll see the same format, but here we have the resources available to our community. So you see the substance abuse, mental health, family services, Astor, just to name a few, all embedded in the same way. So you have access to phone number, email, website, if available. Perfect. And then if you go over one to the meditation tab, we've just dropped a few videos. This one is still in progress. A few videos are there. And then over into the More tab, we're working on, I think apps is up and running. So there's some mindfulness, chill and calm apps. And we're continuing to add to the apps and the videos and the different articles and resources. So again, a year work in progress to really embed everything that we can bring to our community and our staff and our students in this way. So it's user-friendly, it's accessible to everybody. Very proud of the work that the team did with this. We can go back to the presentation, Vince. Perfect, thank you. So as a community, we're continuing, and we've talked a lot about how COVID has kind of put up a little bit of a roadblock, temporary for us, in really building our family and community engagement. When I first came to Ellenville, we had math and movement night, and parents were coming in, and we had our behavior specialist meeting with parents during that time, and we'll get back there. We will get back there, and that's a lot of the conversation and the work that will happen this year, so that when we do and are able to reopen, we really have a long list of how we're strengthening these partnerships to make sure that our SEL work and the initiatives that we've been in deep discussion about really come to fruition. So that is part of our mission as we continue through this school year, continue those monthly meetings, to continue the work that we do together. So this is something that we remind ourselves of all the time as a team, as a district, as people. So it's the same storm that we've been in, but we have to continue to remind ourselves that we're all in different boats. So some of us have yachts, others just have an oar, and we're trying to tread water. So we keep reflecting on the different circumstances, the perspectives, and the experiences of our community, of our students, of our staff. So we're just trying to move ahead with the greatest respect, empathy, kindness, and compassion, keeping in mind our students, our staff, where they're coming from, our families, and reflecting back on ourselves and what we need and how we can best support us so that we're our best version of ourselves to be able to give to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Mataraza, is there any questions?
Just a quick one.
Sure.
Thank you. I was very impressed by the work.
Welcome.
I'm interested in knowing, how do we disseminate to the community that this is available? Not everybody will run into it by accident when they're on the school website. So how do we let people know that this is here?
So I know a lot of the work that when I was at the elementary school last year, we really put the word out there when I would have various family meetings, parent teacher conferences, and the student support staff at the secondary level were advised to share out as well. That's why we had the technology department put it front and center in the white spot with the heart. What we've also done is we're hoping tonight's presentation, now that we've solidified the website, we'll also put that message out there that here it is, here's how you find it, and here's the way to contact us if you have more questions, so that we've kind of opened that door. So this was that initial step, and we're hoping that now the information just is there, and now they can contact us. So this was step one of that work. Yeah,
John?
you're welcome.
Yeah, just a quick question before I comment. Was this presentation available to the public tonight, or is it got to be recorded?
It's definitely recorded. It's live now, and it will be recorded. We can put the presentation up on our website.
I'm not sure it went out live. That's the only thing I'm wondering if it
I
did.
think we
Yeah.
went back to live,
Okay,
but we still are taped, so the tape will
okay.
remain.
I just wanted to say thank you, Mrs. Mataraza, for doing this. I've been involved in a lot of discussions on schools and COVID, and social emotional issues, and supports have been in every one of those discussions. Our school district has taken a proactive approach to this. Kudos to Superintendent Wiles and their administrators team. They deserve a lot of credit. The board was asked to, and as you know, we did approve an increase in staff to deal with social emotional issues on all three levels. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to be heard on this? If not, I'd like to thank Mrs. Mataraza. It was a very informative and professional format. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to reports, information, and correspondence from myself. I just had a quick sidebar with Mrs. Karpala. Did not want her to think that her questions would go unanswered. I've asked the superintendent to get all the answers to all those questions that she had, and she's going to personally call Mrs. Karpala and go over each of her concerns as they were left here with the superintendent. Board membership? Wayne?
Yeah, can you please let us know where we stand with advisors? My understanding is we're short advisors for several classes, and what we're trying to do to rectify that.
John?
Yes, a couple of things. First off, I feel compelled to mention our new governor moved us backwards by making us be remote in these meetings. The students and staff are in schools with masks and social distancing, and we're all at least 8 feet apart, and yet we're back to remote, which I think makes it more difficult, as we just saw with our presentation there. So just my little point there. I would like to mention that the third annual Hall of Fame induction for the Ellenville High School Athletic Hall of Fame will be held on Saturday, October 16th at noon on the football field. And I don't mean to make a presentation, Mr. President, but I have the sign that we
Go
just
ahead.
got back. From Stegner Printing shows our 2021 inductees here. And so on the 16th of October, Coach Lance Lewin, Danielle Borriello, track star, Amy Capello Newer, who was a softball player, Coach Lance Lewin I mentioned, and then the Nieves brothers, who were outstanding wrestlers and have national and international experience, have all been inducted into the Hall of Fame. There'll be a breakfast at the Aroma Time Bistro at 9:30 to 11 o'clock for all people who'd like to come. Tickets are $15 a piece. And then we, at 12 o'clock, we'll do the Hall of Fame. I'd like to invite the board to come to that if they'd like. And one of the things that we need to do is we need to get more nominations for the Hall of Fame because they've really slowed down. This was actually the 2020 class, which got canceled, like our own 2020 class that graduated without many of the things they had to have. So it's the same people that were going to come in last year, and COVID made us postpone that, but they'll be here this year, and we're looking for a bunch of people to come out and support them. There's some really great athletes and some great people on this list. Just a side note, and I'll brag a little bit about the kind of people we put out at Ellenville here. Both the Nieves brothers are coaching in college. Alberto's up in Massachusetts, and Anibal is coaching just a couple hours from here at East Stroudsburg. And I'll try and find the video on YouTube. On 9/11, Anibal coaches both the boys and the girls team at East Stroudsburg. And there's a video of the entire team carrying American flags as they ran throughout East Stroudsburg. And I just think that shows you the kind of people that we put into the Hall of Fame and people that come out of Ellenville every day. So we're very proud of them. We'd like to see everybody come out and support them on that day. And also to look on the website and make nominations to anyone that you think would be appropriate for the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anybody else? Any other board members want to be heard this evening? Now we'll move on to the superintendent.
So a few things this evening, as Mr. Matrician mentioned, we have a Q&A on the COVID and reopening questionnaire questions on the website. You can find that right under the click for reopening plans. We will continue to update it, including the questions that we got this evening. I also wanted to tell you that we'll be posting something up very shortly about the mandated COVID testing program that we will have in the district. It is required for those staff members that are not vaccinated and don't show proof of their vaccination that they're tested once a week. We're finalizing the program with the Ulster County, who will be providing a vendor and also the tests for us to take a little bit of the pressure and support our nurses and our nursing staff. And we are this week going to be putting out a survey for parents. It's an option, not required, for students to be tested weekly. So watch out for that documentation in the, that's coming to you with regard to parental opt-in. I also want to follow up on the publicity for the social emotional wellness that was brought up by Mr. Burns and also Ms. Friedman. I think that we will encourage our TV and radio station to probably do a promotional video and maybe some interviews with the team so that we can run that on. It's a good idea to continue to promote that. They did an excellent job and been working really hard. I really want to echo and thank the board because you did put up many resources to supplement that program this year, and we're seeing that our students and our staff really need the support. So it's been well done, and we'll continue to keep you updated. With regard to Mr. Story's question, I think you were talking about class advisors.
Yes.
We have, this evening, we're appointing 2 8th grade class advisors. We are appointing 1 9th grade advisor. We still need a 9th grade advisor. We need 2 10th grade advisors, 2 11th grade advisors, and we have the 12th grade advisor. So we'll be reposting again for 9th grade, 2 10th, and 2 11th, and I will have the senior high school administration try to reach out to the teachers to see if anybody else, we have many staff members are interested in doing it. We'll be posting and putting out another email. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Question, Ms. Wells. It's my understanding that the governor has not yet mandated all staff to be vaccinated, that
That's
correct?
correct.
but she has mandated that those that are not vaccinated must be tested weekly.
Yes.
And I think people would like to know that there is no funding for that. That's on the district.
And actually, there's no funding from the district standpoint, but the county is providing the resources for the testing. So the vendor that's being hired by the county to do the testing, they'll send someone down here. We're working through the logistics of that in the next week or so, but that's not going to be a cost to us. We might have some supplemental costs, which I will advise you of. But if we do have supplemental costs, we're hoping to submit those costs to the county for reimbursement.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Vince Napoli.
Thank you. Next year, tax collection is going to look a little different than it does this year. So for the last 11 years, taxpayers have been able to mail their checks to the bank. We've been advised that our tax collection software does not meet the banking security requirements for electronics. It could, but the bank would have to spend a lot of money. So what that means is that all tax collection will come back to 28 Maple, which means that the tax collector will collect all checks and cash at 28 Maple Avenue. We're looking at ways to speed up the process. One of them is going to be purchasing a money counting machine that also counts counterfeiting. The bank will lend us a machine that will scan checks and then send it right to the bank. So we used to do it that way up until maybe 11 years ago, where we had the bank act as a repository or collection location for our taxes, but that's going to end.
Iris.
So I can send my check to the school.
You're
Basically, that's what you're saying.
going to have to send it to the
Yeah,
school.
well,
You'll-
that's,
Right,
okay,
not to the bank.
okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Deputy Superintendent, Mrs. Kelly. Oh,
Okay,
Wait.
sorry. Vincent, if you could just let us know, how are the roofs doing since we've had them redone and we've had a couple of big storms? Have there been leaks? Are they faring well?
Faring very well. We have one roof that's left to be done. That's on the top of the elementary school. All the new roofs from the last project and for the current project that we just did have been doing very well. We did have a couple leaks where some of the unit ventilators and the rooftop units, they were not affixed because we were in the middle of doing all the work. We had some leaks come in, but the contractor came out the very next day. We took care of that. So we've been doing very well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you. Deputy Superintendent, Mrs. Kelly White.
Good evening. I just want to update the board and the community on our work that's going to be kicking off with Education Elements. We did a presentation with them back in July. We have purchased a personalized learning package with them, and the work for that will be kicking off in October. And there'll be a letter that goes out to our families so that they understand the work that's being done related to that initiative. That's all I have to report tonight.
Thank you, Mrs. White. We will move on this evening to our personnel resolutions. Under 6.1, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved, attached list of personnel be appointed for the 21-22 school year. Certified substitute teachers, uncertified substitute teachers, and substitute support related personnel.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.2, resignation. Upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the resignation of Lamarck Logan to cover open gym be accepted effective September 20th, 21.
Second.
Move seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.3, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that the co-curricular personnel set forth in the attached list be approved at a contractual rate for the 2021-22 school year. Move seconded. Discussion?
Do we have most positions filled, Mrs. Wiles?
We still have a few out there. We'll put an update in your packet at the next meeting.
Thank you.
No further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Senior typist, 6.4, be it resolved that the resolution to appoint Holly Budd as senior typist dated 8/31/21 be amended as follows. Be it resolved that Holly Budd be appointed senior typist, contractual rate of $47,628, step 1, prorated effective September
So
20th,
moved.
21.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.5. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved that the resolution to appoint Rebecca Mahar, dated 8/31/21, be amended as follows. That Rebecca Mahar, who holds an initial New York State certificate as school building leader and a professional New York State certificate as school district leader, be appointed to a 4-year tenure track probationary. Been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion?
Was this just a holdup on something that?
Just the day she can start based on her
Okay.
release date from her previous employer.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.6, resolve the following volunteers be approved for 21-22 school year.
Move the list.
There are 3. It's been moved, seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.7, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the resignation of Jolene Younger as cafeteria monitor be accepted.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. She worked for the district for a long time, correct?
She sure did.
And we'll put, can we add to the resolution with regret?
Yes.
Amend the resolution to reflect with regret. Been moved, seconded, no further discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.8, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be resolved the resignation of Ricky Jones as a cleaner be accepted effective October 1st.
So moved.
Been moved,
Second.
seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.9, be it resolved the Board of Education of the Ellenville Central School District that effective 9/21/2021, the services of employee number 2870 are
So
hereby.
moved.
Been moved? Second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.10. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that the memorandum of agreement between the Ellenville Central School District and the ETS RPA Teachers Unit be approved as attached.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.11. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that the memorandum of agreement between the Ellenville Central School District and the ETS RPA Teachers Unit be approved as attached.
So moved. Second.
Move seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. 6.12, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that a 1-to-1 registered nurse position be created and approved.
So moved.
Moved. Do I have a second? Second? Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.13, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Jennifer Bonnet, Susan Erlin, and Kelly Kane be appointed for home tutoring for the 21-22
So
school year.
moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.14, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Courtney Vandermark, who holds a permanent New York State certificate in the area of school counselor, be appointed to a 4-year probationary position of school counselor in a tenure area of school counselor effective October 22nd, 2021 through October 21st, 2025.
Second.
Move seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. IEPs 7.1, be it resolved, attached list of student IEPs be acknowledged as appropriate. There are 17.
Move the list as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Under construction,
Motion move 8-1 and 8-2.
Second.
8.1 and 8.2 have been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Under other resolutions,
Move 9-1 to 9-4.
Second.
9.1 to 9.4 have been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Our next meeting is October 12th, 2021. Mark your calendars. Anything anybody would like to see on the next agenda?
Do we have a retreat coming up?
Yes, we do. That will be given to you very shortly.
October 19th.
It is? Okay, the 19th of October.
That was short.
That was very short.
5:30 to 8:30, location to be determined.
Location to be determined, 5:30, 8:30. Dinner will be provided. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? We're adjourned.